Oh, that's the one that I did online? I'm saying, what company was the name for me? What company did you get?
I was trying to keep myself entertained. I had to move, but. Just the minutes on the fix that song about.
I just remember exactly where it was.
I got files on E-file, says files on zero two. It's on 1, 2, 7, 7, 3, 1, 6. Don't file organized without that. I'm saying this what I'm about to file a complaint about because I need these files to go through because I got to tell them to keep on here. Now, well, right here, keep getting that. The online, I actually get a person two families, trying to keep telling me take money, saying you need to go find a petition over you. Everybody, so. I don't know, but the petition of review is not required for me. It's not required for me, Michael. Well, I think we all know we're trying to find. What are we trying to find? I already did. I got a case number in the check. The case number is 1, 2, 7, 7, 3, 3, 1, 7. Also, the petition don't tell you. I mean, the Supreme Court don't tell this. I'm going to go file a complaint so we can know. I'm going to go file a complaint about you. All right. So you don't need this, right? You don't understand what this is. Can I do the first? Should I be giving you go? That's straightforward. Oh, okay. And have the parents said. So can I get the results for that? Can you guys get the final piece of paper right now? No, so the next one, man, with the bottom. I'm talking about this like this to me, like this all, this 3 second 3 second cases, all of them, seven. I paid $277 for 3 times. 3 times in the Superior Court, that's what we need to do, 3 times. Okay, that was one, like this was one, that you did, or whatever, Fairlane, that this go through. I mean, it's done, it's done, I'm done, I'm done. I was saying, okay, this, I need part that for, the money was sent back, the money keep getting sent back. Wow.
Here's the extra part that we don't have the paperwork to provide. You don't know how to do it, that's something.
Relative always with this, and you rejected it. Why people
The law changed. Life. You don't know how to do it, you got some that's trying. Then you would need to be in first. What kind of case are you trying to buy?
the Superior Court case is, then I already paid. I already paid. I'm saying, you gotta understand when somebody gives you money, you gotta understand what you're at work, when somebody gives you money, you gotta understand it's not. All right, I paid you, sending the money back. You know what's going on, you sending the money back. We not taking money, you should be taking money. And you know, that was just a little bit, yeah, you know, but it requires, that's discrimination, that's what it is, that's discrimination, really. I think you're gonna tell the commission that you're discriminating against anybody, you feel to go up. There's no paperwork when we do it in electronically. There is no paperwork when we do it electronically, just a minute, not paper, but a minute. Can you sign it? Can you tell me what your results on this so I can take it over into them? I gotta go to the site.
If I get the results on some, and check back and see, get back within the, that's 30 days, I have 30 days, probably. Get back within that time.
Let's hold clear. Let's hold clear. What about this? Why did you say this there?
Because it's on that whole one.
Okay, help me out. I'll pay you. Help me out. I'm saying, help me out. Because I got the numbers, I can leave the number. But you know, well, yes.
What she's saying, is legally, she cannot help you any more than what she's already done. If you need more help, she's telling you you're gonna have to go find an attorney to help. That's what she's telling you. This was the incident that led to his falling.
You always had the case on that, and look it up, and it was spot and then trying. I'm at 132, I'm at 132 East Solomon Street. I never really close to working, but I've done some e-file and just speaking with the clerk. You know, why each other and I'm working about one thing because she's still running it down that she's got lifted and I'm trying to have her take these statements and wait. Yeah, she was in her office like. 31, 322. No, she's there first. Goes on the top now. Yeah. Oh, I wonder if we did that work. Debbie. D-E-I-E. Come over here, though. She's a clerk here at the clubhouse. Case number that I'm filing, trying to be and the emergency, and it's still not being resolved. Yes, yeah, this is exactly the way the police car, we pray with small, so all of the public, she keeps it hustling against one person. She's not ignored and she's only complaining, but you can give me a hustle for it. Yeah, I'll be outside. I'm gonna be standing right at the door, right there, sit down with me.
Or 31 dispatch.
I know that,
The normal one goes, sure. I'm standing outside the courthouse there.
What's up? Oh, maybe because I understand the process. School is basically, what's the name called? 917-22. Yeah.
Deputy Carter, did they actually send an officer to it?
No. After a couple minutes of waiting, I called 911 dispatch on the phone and asked if they were sending anybody in regards to Bo Usher's call. They advised they were not. All of their officers were busy. So I told them if you go ahead and cancel that call, I would handle it.
Was there any kind of emergency?
No,
Everything happened in Spalding County, Georgia that day?
sure did.
That's all the questions I have for Deputy Carter.
Mr. Charles?
And Your Honor.
Okay. Your client would like to speak with you just for a moment before. No, you can talk to him. That's your only option.
Hear what I said.
I'm gonna need you to speak because my attorney is
No.
in conflict.
Talk to your attorney. You've got one of the best public defenders in the state of Georgia. You need to talk to him and listen to what he's trying to tell you. Okay, that's okay. He's mumbling. Just put in.
Your grievance is within Spalding County, but he doesn't seem to understand that.
Okay, that's fine. Do you have any questions for this officer?
This is the best evidence, it's right on the screen.
Okay, then Mr. Shepherd, any redirect?
No, Judge.
All right, then you may step back. This matters. Okay, call your next witness or rest.
We had some people from the clerk's office here to testify, but as the body can be very clear, we'll rest. I think, by the way.
All right, any witness, any evidence, Mr. Charles? Okay, then, no, stop. I've already told you, once we got started, Mr. Usher, that your only option from that moment forward was to speak to your attorney. I gave you an extensive amount of time to speak with me beforehand, okay? This is what I was trying to avoid, was you not following this thing. We're going to do this the right way. No, take your hand down. I'm not going to call on you at this time. That's why we talked extensively beforehand so that we could cover everything that needed to get covered. So there's no scenario from this moment forward where you raise your hand and I let you speak. You need to know that. Okay. Mr. Shepherd, you have opening and closing. Which one do you prefer? Okay. Mr. Charles.
I am not a psychiatrist, nor a psychologist, but I haven't been dealing with the usher for a year now. I would like some reasons. This incident, the clerk are not, any clerk, they are not allowed to give legal advice. This book's telling life. Cannot give you legal advice. If you want to know about the appeal process, go and get a lawyer. He come out and he called 911. There was no crime, there was no threat. What was his reason? His argument is the difference between the city of Griffin and Spalding County. I tried to tell him, city of Griffin is within Spalding County. The deputy sheriff of Spalding County came to arrest within the city of Griffin. It's hard to explain the law to somebody who doesn't want to understand. Even if you have a disability, Mr. Usher will not listen. I try to resolve his case. I try to get him a place to stay so he can get his medication. Because he told me previously he was at Spalding Regional, they will not give him medication. Now, we know DHS will provide him with medication. He's still refusing. So therefore, Your Honor, I have to say, I leave it up to you.
Okay.
It's within your province, Your Honor, to do whatever you see fit with Mr. Usher.
Thank you. Mr. Shepherd.
Judge, I said earlier enough, I hate to come to this. You know, everybody I think agrees Bo needs help. We want Bo to get help. Bo's not willing to accept that right now. It's just, it's not fair to Ms. Brooks. It's not Ms. Chapman. It's not my office. It's not fair to the folks across the street. They're trying to work and you see how Bo is. And this is just, that's just one example of many. This is what Bo does. And it's gone on long enough. Everybody's just kind of let Bo be Bo. But at this point, it's time to put a stop to this. We ask you to revoke his bond. We're still very willing to entertain Mr. Usher getting into a facility where he can get the help that he needs. But at this point, I think his options are between that and jail. He's chosen not to take the mental health treatment that's been offered. So we'd ask that you revoke his bond and hold him until trial.
All right. So as I said earlier, very familiar with Mr. Usher. I've known him for decades. Talked extensively beforehand. This would be the third time I've let him know that if Mr. Shepherd filed that motion, I would basically be obligated to grant it. So Mr. Usher was told 3 times before this hearing that that is very likely going to be the outcome. He was given an option to resolve his case without admitting to the fault, without admitting to the underlying facts, and his only responsibility would be to get treatment. I will find that we have bent over backwards and let Mr. Usher get away with noise and disruption in this courthouse that would not otherwise be tolerated because of our familiarity with Mr. Usher. Mr. Usher has his own seat in my courtroom that when he comes to my courtroom, he is to go to and sit. There's no other defendant in Spalding County that has their own seat. And if somebody else is in Mr. Usher's seat, when he wanders in on some random Tuesday, they have to get out of that seat so that he can sit in his seat. So my point is that Mr. Usher is not some random person that we're not familiar with. Mr. Usher is somebody that we as a state court team have discussed extensively, trying to create a solution to help him. He's off his meds. He's not receiving help. He's refusing help at all opportunities. He has now 8 cases pending with me, and it's time for me to say enough's enough. So, Mr. Usher, I'm sorry, but I'm revoking your bond. I will still entertain the recommendation if the state's got it on the table and if you wish to take it. But at this point, y'all can put cuffs on him. So this hurts my heart, Mr. Usher. This was not at all what any of us wanted, but this is the resolution that we're going to have.
With the confusion, can I call Ms. Mark from DHS and tell her what she was expecting him?
That's my paperwork, Judge.
Stop talking.
And ask her to go and talk to
Yeah.
Mr. Bois jail and see.
That's a great idea.
So
That's a fantastic idea. And Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Charles, y'all let me know what I can do. if anything. All right, y'all may take him. I have signed your order.
Thank you.
Oh, and this one's right. Interlock people, go wait by the back door over there. Whoever's interlocked, they're bringing you your paperwork.
Well, I don't want to do that here.
No,
Hey.
I know.
You ain't gonna go.
All right, everybody, let's come back to order. You're Lisa Spears? All right, Ms. Spears, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right. And Ms. Spears, I know you and I met because we rode the elevator here together this morning, but state your full name for me.
My name is Lisa Renee Spears.
All right. And Ms. Spears, your case is 22 SR 1835. I believe it's a walk-in. Or is it? No, it's on this.
It was on yesterday's calendar, Judge. She got her days confused. She
That's
thought what was today versus yesterday.
All right, so we're good to go. All right, page 4 of yesterday's calendar, there it is. So, Ms. Spears, I'm going to jump forward to this document that I'm holding up. This is the attorney and defendant plea rights waiver. Do you recognize this document that I'm holding up?
I believe I do, sir, from
Okay.
earlier.
Mr. Malloy, if you'll pass that to your client and let her touch.
Let's see that. Bill.
Well, you see, I have glasses now too, so.
It's one contact. I read on the other.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I do.
All right, are those your initials on each of the lines on page 1,
Yes, sir.
page 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature?
Yes, sir, it is.
Great. Did you sign and initial this document after having all the time that you needed to review it?
Yes, sir.
And if you had not, did you have an opportunity to ask your attorneys any questions you have about it?
You did offer.
All right, and Ms. Spears, have you had all the time that you need to speak with your attorneys about all aspects of your case?
To my knowledge, yes, sir. Multiple sclerosis, I am not as cognitive as I used to be, sir.
Sure, and do you realize that if you have any questions or a question pops into your head, that what I want you to do is stop us and ask that question? Do you promise to do that? If you think of a question, do you promise to stick your hand up, stop what we're doing, and ask me that question?
Yes, sir, I will. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. And Ms. Spears, and again, I'll say for the record that you and I spoke earlier just by happenstance in the elevator, and that speaking with you, I was comfortable that you understood what you were doing here and why you were here, and you were going to see your attorneys, and that you had a DUI case, and that you were with me. And then you and I walked into the courtroom together. So, okay. So I'll just say for my own purposes that I was comfortable that she was aware and is familiar with what she's doing here and what her purposes are. Mr. Malloy, did you have any concerns or anything about her inability to understand what's going on
No,
here?
Your Honor, I've had a couple of conversations with Ms. Spears in our office, lengthy interviews, and during the course of at least the last one that we just recently had, the last week or so, there was no issue or concerns in my mind about her ability to understand what we were talking about, where we were going with this case.
Okay, again, just being very careful. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, Ms. Spears, do you understand that you have the right to a jury trial if you wanted one?
Yes, sir, I do. I'd love to do some explanations, sir.
Well, let me go through the parts I need to get to, and then when we finish, you can talk to your attorney and see if that is appropriate. Okay. So, do you understand, Ms. Spears, that because there will be no jury trial, that we're just going to enter this plea and close your case? Do you understand that?
I do understand that, sir.
Is that what you want to do? you want to close your case with this plea?
It's been over 2 years, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
You do.
Close.
Okay. Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate that there is a sufficient factual basis for me to accept this reckless driving plea from July 27th of 2021?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Spears, do you wish to enter a guilty plea to that reduced charge of reckless driving?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Malloy, do you stipulate the factual basis as to the speeding 91 and a 55?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Spears, do you wish to enter a guilty plea on that charge?
I'm sorry, sir.
The
Could you repeat it?
speeding 91 and a 55. Do you wish to enter a plea to that charge?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to find with Mr. Malloy's stipulations as to the factual basis combined with Ms. Spears' request to enter the guilty pleas that there's enough for me to enter her pleas. I'm going to find that she is knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waiving her rights in entering this plea. I've reviewed the recommendation and I will follow it. So now we're to the explanations. Mr. Malloy, the floor is yours.
Your Honor, this case was basically would have been considered a DUI. Well, originally a charge of DUI drugs because Ms. Spears takes prescription drugs. But when we got the report back in the pre-trial, the state, the three of us, myself, Mr. Shepherd, and Mr. Charles, reviewed that report to see exactly what was in her system. And after some research of what the substances were, was able to convince Mr. Shepherd that those close, that he could see that potentially that he might not have the best DUI case. So he agreed to reduce it to the reckless. Just provided that Ms. Spears understands that if she's going to continue to take her medications, maybe she shouldn't drive while she's doing it.
Okay. And Ms. Spears, if you have anything you'd like to say, I'd like you to speak off record first to Mr. Malloy.
At the time of this incident, Your Honor, Ms. Spears was going through a bit of a trauma. Her mother, who she's the caregiver for, was in the hospital. And there was a couple of things that was going on. So that probably exacerbated the situation.
Sure.
And that she was distracted. And that may have made the situation a little bit more, or someone used the word egregious, but more likely to have happened if she had not been in an unstable emotional state.
No, that makes perfect sense. So, okay, I accept that. All right. Anything else before a sentence? Ready?
No, Your Honor, we're good.
Okay. Any questions, anything before a sentence?
Yes, sir. I'm very clear, Your Honor.
All right, here we go. Lisa Spears, 22 SR 1835 from July 27th of 2021. Count 1, reckless driving. I'm gonna find you guilty. Is 12 months probation, a fine of $1,290. Count 2, speeding 91 and a 55. Guilty, 12 months. Consecutive, 742.50 is your fine. That's a total of 24 months of probation. Counts 3 and 4 will be dismissed. Show you valid license to probation. No alcohol, illegal drugs, or hemp products should be tested for those. Fourth Amendment waiver, $50 per month supervision fee, $25 one-time intake fee, $50 one-time public defender restitution, substance abuse evaluation within 90 days. And once 12 months have passed, no violations have occurred, and all conditions have been met, I will allow your case to close. You have 30 days from today if you wish to appeal this decision. You have 6 months from today if you wish to use your habeas rights. Do you remember reading about habeas on the back of the right sheet? It's that weird old law where you sue Spalding County civilly over in Superior Court to challenge this conviction. So,
Your Honor, I haven't been arrested before, so I really don't remember such.
well, habeas is just a weird law that we all have to explain to folks as they come through, and it's our job to do it. Just remember, you have 6 months on those habeas rights. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Ms. Matthews, where would you like? Do you want her to go sit over in the conference room over there, or?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Okay. So, Ms. Pierce, if you'll go to that open door right there, grab a seat in that room and wait for Ms. Matthews to come speak with you. All right. Thank you very much. This matter is adjourned. Truth, nothing but truth, so help you God.
Sir.
All right, take your hand down, state your full name for me.
Stanley Leon Jarmel.
All right. No, that's in reverse. Your first name is Jarmel, Jarmel. Your middle name is Leon, Leon,
Yes, sir.
and your last name is Stanley.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you gave me that in a way that got me all mixed up. All right, Mr. Stanley, you were supposed to be here yesterday, and you were not here. Where were you?
I was at the house, tending to, my mom and dad foster my adopted sister. Recently my sister died, my little sister medical.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for that. Dealing with that and just my mom, church, I'm a drummer, my dad pastor. It's getting things together with that. I do mishap on that and it's take full responsibility for that. Prior before time.
Today? You did. So your options for your case is 22 SR 1555 and 23 SR 155. So they're very closely lined up, but it's two different case numbers. You can ask me for, I have to deal with the warrant, so we're gonna come back to that in just a moment. And I also, you can ask me for a trial, so you can have a jury trial or a bench trial. You can pick whichever one today. You'll get a chance to finalize that decision at your next court date. And then you've already had a conference with the solicitor's office where they've made an offer. You can accept that offer or reject it. It's completely up to you. And then as you saw, Mr. Malloy is the public defender's office. He's now gone. But either way, if your case remains open today, whether or not I execute the warrant, you can apply with the public defender's office. All right, what questions can I answer? Or if you know enough, what do you want to do with your case? Cases, excuse me.
Yes, sir. Honestly, I did want to refer over the case if I had time for it. I do know yesterday mishap and absence, but
I'm sorry, sir. Can you
Yeah,
speak?
I didn't catch you either.
I'm sorry. Honestly, I want to review some of like few options in it. Yes, he gave me a few things about the case, but really having full knowledge of it. I would love to speak to a public defender for more counsel. And I don't want just the absence of yesterday. I know Mr. Shepherd stressed to me about the absence of yesterday, and I didn't want a decision today to be held solely upon.
All right. So you have two cases. Have you had other cases with me?
No, sir, I haven't had any.
Okay.
He's got 15 cycles on his criminal history. Convicted felony conviction for possession of a firearm by convicted felon. 2018.
Okay.
Numerous obstruction charges. Numerous obstruction charges.
Those, like, as I said before, sir, those are long time, old life. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I know it may not have anything to do with it for you, but it does for me. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. You've got two theft charges. I am gonna lift these warrants, but I will never lift another warrant for you ever. So if you're so much as like 1 second late from now to the end of these cases, I'm gonna take you into custody and I'm gonna leave you there until your cases are resolved. Do you understand that? All right, I'm gonna plead you not guilty. You need to go see the public defender's office. And I'm gonna order you to go there today. So their office is about 4 blocks south of here, down Hill Street. So you're gonna go straight there. If you hurry, you can get there before lunch. If you miss them, you're gonna go after lunch and you're gonna turn that application in today. And I'm gonna just say one more time that I am not kidding at all. If you're so much as 1 second late, you've used your one warrant lift, I'm just gonna leave you in the jail and then you'll stay there until your cases are resolved.
Understood.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, hand Mr. Shepherd back his stuff. The bailiffs are going to walk you to wherever they want to walk you to have you fill out your paperwork. All right, anything questions for me? All right, so step back behind the bar, go out that way, follow Ms. Yarborough, and sign your paperwork. Okay.
Can I explain the violation?
You probably should not. Miss Kathy is making a record of everything that we're saying here, and I'm so far not letting you talk about the facts of your cases. Because if you start talking about the facts of your cases, Mr. Shepherd's going to get a transcript of it, and then you'll very likely hear your words repeated back to you to a jury. So, my advice to that is no, dude. I would not allow you to discuss the facts of your case unless you just insisted on it. But that's not in your best interest.
I mean, when I caught a violation, I was at work. She called my phone because she just ran out of gas.
Okay, so I'm going to state that I've advised you not to speak about it. You're determined to speak about it, so you can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and she ran out of gas. She called. I was close, my job close by where she was. When she called, I was just putting gas in the car. And I guess I called her and told her that I was on the phone. I was on the phone with her when the police officers were behind me. And I putting gas in the car, the officer just arrested me. I get called on the phone. But he explained to me that I don't supposed to have no contact with her at all. I didn't know I couldn't be on the phone or help her with gas or anything like that. But we've been together. Listen.
Okay. Mr. Shepherd, will you tell me a little bit about his history?
DUI in 2018, this board, and the license in 2017, state sport. several probation violations, corruption in 2018, family violence in 2020, theft by taking 20 March of 2023, and then this family violence order May of 2023.
Okay.
Okay, that's family violence allegations that he slapped and punched Ms. Shepherd in the face. Yeah, that affidavit's a piece of paper. I know what it is.
All right. So, Mr. Watson, what do you want to do with your 3 cases? You can have a jury trial, you can have a trial. You can try to resolve it today with a conference if Mr. Shepherd's willing.
I made them play off.
Oh, you have? Okay. Then if you want to accept that offer, you can. And then lastly, your third option is, if you choose not to accept the offer, then you have the right to apply with the public defender's office, whether or not I lift the warrant. And as you've already figured out, I'm still on the fence on that one. So, what questions do you have? Let's start there. And then what do you want to do if you feel like you have your answers?
Yeah, but I'm really just worried about the mark being good. I don't even sure. But I want to plead, I mean, like I said, she willing to testify against the case, like it was a misunderstanding and everything. Well, like he said, it's just paper and it could have happened, but me and her know it didn't happen. I want to plead not guilty to my case, and the theft by deception, it was a situation where a man owed me some, I plead not guilty to the child.
Okay.
I'm kind of situation where I don't know what to do. I can't afford to go to jail right now. So,
Well, I mean, the only thing you've got going for you right now, Mr. Watson, is that you walked in. That's it. And if you'd waited another day and we'd picked you up, I wouldn't even have this discussion with you. But I can tell you right now, you got a simple battery on November 7th of 2020. And then I assume, Mr. Shepherd, that the simple battery and the were the same individual.
Yes.
And that the family violence order case was a direct result of the bond conditions from the first case. And then obviously we have this theft by taking that's floating around also from here. And what's got my concern is, I'll tell you what my concern is. If all of these cases were like from the same bad season of your life, I probably would just lift the warrant. Like I'd be very comfortable with that, but they're not. You had a season where you went from November 7th of 2020, but now in 2023, and now you've got 2 new charges. So even though you were living in Vegas, you somehow got a new charge of theft by taking here in Spalding County on March 21st of 2023. And then you got another new charge of family violence on May 21st of 2023. So you are asking a lot of me, Mr. Watson.
I'm sure you don't see any other cases against me. Like I'm not no troublemaker. I just want to provide, take care of my kid. I know it's hard to believe that these things didn't happen, but it really didn't happen. And everybody, it was a misunderstanding with somebody owed me some money and he did not want to pay. And I still was responsibility because I should never took it that far to do that. But you know, I had a lot going on at the time and dealing with my kids and everything. So I just got out of character with it, theft by deception. And like I said, the violation part, I really just trying to help her with gas.
Okay. Mr. Watson, here's what we're going to do. I really need to do some thinking about this. What I'm going to do is I am going to take you into custody, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as a result of you coming in today, I'm going to add you to the court date. Whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm going to put you on a court date in 2 weeks. Normally I'd put you on a trial calendar a couple months out. Okay.
Even if I got a job.
So, well,
I work here.
your charges scare me. I'm so sorry. Your charges scare me. And the fact that they're coming in rapid succession scares me even more. And it's my job to make these difficult decisions. And I'm sorry. This is the difficult decision that I'm making. And if it makes you feel any better, I've been thinking about it all morning, trying to figure out my position on it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm telling you what we're going to do now. Here's what we're going to do. I am taking you into custody. With you now, the September 6th. I'm sorry, is that the date? September 6th? Yes, September 6th at 9 a.m. I want you to fill out an application with the Public Defender's Office as soon as you get back. I'm going to personally email the Public Defender's Office and tell them that they need to move fast and get onto your case so that you can make an informed decision as to what you want to do on the 6th. And no, I need you to stop interrupting me while I'm telling you what I'm doing. I will give you an opportunity to speak, but do not do it over me. Okay? All right. So again, you and I shook hands on the way into court this morning. I saw your cases. I've been doing a lot of soul searching on this one. And this is one that I just can't let slide. I need your attention. All right, floor is yours.
Sir, I just started working for CVS in McDonald's for $18.50, sir. I mean, if I had, I'd plead guilty to it and do probation.
Well, I have no interest in that option. Yeah, I mean,
If I go to jail, like, everything starts, so I'm also dealing with defense. 'Cause 3 of my kids' mother passed away also in, the 2020. I got custody of them 3 kids right now, and I'm dealing with defense as we speaking right now. I moved to Vegas in June because of the violation. I didn't want to get in no more troubles being around her, but I knew I couldn't not be around her to take care of my kids. But so I just moved away. And when I moved back in August the 7th. So cause school started back to get custody to get my kids back so they can start going to school.
well, here's the deal. You are welcome to have a conversation. I can put us off record. You're welcome to talk to Mr. Shepherd, but I need to know, but I can't take the plea if the only reason you're taking it is to go to jail. So you need to do some soul searching, and you need to know that I'm not willing to accept your plea if your position is that you're just taking it not to go to jail. So we're going to go off record. You're going to talk to Mr. Shepherd. And then you need to let me know what you want to do. All right, we're off record. Don't talk to me anymore. Talk to Mr. Shepherd.
36 months probation.
This
Right,
is
12, you've been non-reported.
Mhm.
The violent contact in separate, the and violence class, expand restitution.